Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into frequency healing, what it is, what it really isn't, and how you can use these frequency tools in your everyday life.
I'm genuinely excited about this discussion. What exactly do you mean by frequency healing here?
Well, at its core, frequency healing revolves around the idea that sound, in terms of vibration, rhythm, and tone, can actually
Yeah,
influence your state. It's not magic, but our bodies respond to patterns, like how our heart follows the rhythm of our breath.
exactly. And it's interesting because it's not about one magic number in isolation, right? There's a whole spectrum to consider.
Yes, totally. For instance, people mention frequencies like 111 hertz, 222 hertz, 432 hertz, 528 hertz, and so on, up to 888
Yep.
hertz. Each of these frequencies is noted for different effects, whether it's grounding, balance, relaxation, or even a nudge towards abundance.
So, let me get this straight. It's not that 432 hertz is some mystical cure-all, but rather it's one element in this broader frequency recipe?
Right, exactly. Think
Yeah,
of it like, if you want, it's like making a smoothie. The numbers are the ingredients, but how they mix together, along with things like volume, harmonics, and even your current environment, creates the final flavor, or in this case, effect on your nervous system.
I love that analogy. And what about the definition of hertz? I mean, it's such a fundamental term here.
Good question. Hertz means cycles per second. So when we say, for example, 432 hertz, it means the sound wave vibrates 432 times every second.
Right, got it.
And different tones feel different. Lower tones might give a grounding sensation, while higher ones might feel more energizing.
Makes sense. And if I'm not mistaken, the frequencies don't work in a vacuum. There's an element of personal preference and context.
Absolutely. Your personal state, like if you're anxious or calm, influences how those frequencies impact you.
Hmm.
For example, 111 hertz is often used in grounding meditation to drop the mental chatter and refocus on the body.
And then there's 222 hertz, which people seem to lean on for balance when emotions are scattered. Maybe before a tough conversation, right?
Exactly. And 432 hertz is renowned as a calming backdrop, often dubbed the celebrity frequency, helping with meditation or
Yeah, I
just
can see
winding
that.
down. But it's so much more than just picking one number. You choose them based on the feeling you need.
And what about 528 hertz? I've heard it's called the love frequency online.
Yes, 528 hertz often gets big claims online, but practically speaking, many report it offers an uplifting vibe, a sort of mood brightener. It's great for those moments when you need an emotional reset from, say, feeling bogged down.
Totally. And then we have 639 hertz, which, if I'm right, is often linked with themes of connection and relational healing.
Spot on.
Yep.
People might use 639 hertz when they're engaged in forgiveness work or trying to support communication in relationships. If you're journaling about what you need to express, that frequency can really set the tone.
It's fascinating how these sounds can support different aspects of our emotions or even our actions. How do you see a 741 hertz fitting into this?
741 hertz is usually used for clearing mental clutter and gaining clarity. People often play it when they're looking to start fresh, whether that's decluttering a space or mentally rebooting.
Right, it's like wiping the slate clean. And what about the ones for intuition and abundance, like 852 hertz and 888 hertz?
Okay, so 852 hertz is geared toward intuition and inner guidance. However, it can be a bit intense if you're already on edge, so it's a good idea to try it in small
Yeah,
doses.
caution is
Then
key.
there's 888 hertz, the so called abundance frequency. It doesn't magically make you rich, but it works great as an anchor during wealth building rituals like budgeting or even just focusing during those income tasks.
That ties it back to behavior, right? I mean, the shift is more about the cue to action rather than a direct physical change.
Exactly. The idea is that your brain starts associating 888 hertz with a state of focused productivity, which then influences your behavior in a tangible way.
That's pretty clever. Now, let's not forget the additional frequencies like 396 and 417 hertz. They're mentioned quite a bit too.
Right, 396 hertz is commonly used for releasing fear and guilt, while 417 hertz is about instigating change and reset. And then there's 963 hertz, which is for deep meditation and a sense of spiritual
Agreed.
connection. Some even mention 333 and 444 hertz for general support, especially if you're into the whole angel numbers thing.
I find it interesting, though, that a lot of claims about these frequencies, particularly online, aren't always backed by strict scientific research. Would you agree?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
We've got to remember this isn't medical advice. It's more like a wellness tool. These frequencies are meant for stress relief, focus, sleep, and emotional regulation. The key is to use them as a gentle support rather than expecting miracles.
And if someone pushes the idea that a single frequency can cure everything, it's a major red flag.
Exactly. Anyone who uses fear or dependency marketing to sell a one track cures all solution should be approached with caution.
Absolutely. Moving on to the practical side, have you come across the mini protocols that folks can follow?
Yes, indeed. There are four mini protocols: calm, sleep, focus, and emotional release. For calm, for example, you use frequencies like 111, 222, or 432 hertz paired with controlled breathing, one hand on the chest, one on the belly, breathing in for 4 seconds, out for six.
Yeah, that sounds very manageable. And for sleep, there's a two-phase approach, right? Downshift and drift?
Right. The downshift phase is around 8 to 12 minutes of a calming frequency, say 432 or 111 hertz, with slow breathing to get you in regressive mode. Then drift into something ambient like brown noise or gentle rain sounds.
Totally, that sounds like a smart mix. What about the focus protocol?
For focus, you can treat the sound almost like an attention container. Pick one task, set a timer for about 25 minutes, and play some steady, lyrical free sound in the background.
Yes, and sometimes linking 888 hertz to your wealth-related tasks reinforces that association. And then there's emotional release, essential for when you're feeling really stuck or overwhelmed.
Exactly. For emotional release, you choose gentle sounds: 222, 432, 639 hertz, or even a sound bath. Set aside, say, 15 minutes to feel what comes up, and then ground yourself by doing something physical like washing your hands or getting some fresh air.
Mm-hmm. Integration really does matter. There's also the discussion around binaural beats versus isochronic tones, which some people confuse.
Yes, binaural beats use slightly different tones in each ear and usually require headphones, whereas isochronic tones are pulsing sounds that can be effective even without them.
Absolutely, that's a key distinction. And let's not forget about sound baths, which rely more on resonance and harmonics rather than exact frequencies.
Right? They're less about precise numbers and more about that overall vibrational experience that can truly, move
Yeah,
energy.
definitely. Before we wrap up, I want to touch on a critical point. While frequency healing can be a great tool, personalization is absolutely key. What works wonders for one person might do nothing for another, right?
Absolutely. It all comes down to your own state, your nervous system, your journal of experiences. Essentially, if a track makes you feel worse, it's a signal to adjust or maybe switch to a different one.
Feedback, not failure. And one of the simplest yet most underrated frequency tools is, your own voice. Just humming can deliver a direct, calming signal to your body.
Right. Try this. Inhale deeply through your nose and on your exhale, hum for about 6 to 10 seconds. It's fast, simple, and oh so portable.
Yeah, that's something anyone can do, anywhere. To quickly recap, 111 hertz for grounding, 222 for balance, 432 for relaxation, 528 for uplifting, 639 for connection, 741 for clarity, 852 for intuition, and 888 for anchoring wealth actions, plus a few extras for releasing fear and promoting deep meditation.
Precisely. The real flex isn't chasing high vibes only, it's being able to regulate yourself consistently. If you try a 10-minute session tonight, notice the difference and maybe even keep a mini journal of it. You'll start to see what resonates with you.
Yeah, personal experimentation is key. And that, in essence, is our deep dive into frequency healing. Thanks so much for this, and I'm really looking forward to hearing how these tools work out for everyone.
Agreed. Thanks for joining us on this exploration. Until next time, keep experimenting with those frequencies, stay mindful, and take care of yourself.